Today we're taking a look at these MLB matches, which are happening on Wednesday, July 27, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 360 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Texas Rangers vs Seattle Mariners. Our team pick is Texas Rangers plus 1.5 runs. And here is why. Jon Gray is throwing fire on the mound. He has received a victory nod in his last 3 starts against the Miami Marlins, Oakland Athletics and Minnesota Twins. But his recent run of dominance goes even further than that when taking into consideration he's won 6 of his last 7 starts. This could finally be the game for the Rangers to turn the tables on the Mariners at T-Mobile Park. Gray is throwing a 3.48 ERA with a 7.4 record on the season as a whole and a 2.25 ERA and 3.1 record in the month of July. It's smelling like Barbeck on the mound for Texas, and Gray might be the one doing the cooking on Wednesday afternoon. Nothing good has come from facing the Rangers for Marco Gonzalez, 3.74 ERA this season. He's been the nail to Texas's offensive hammer regardless of what the final total on the scoreboard reads. It's a legitimate problem for a Mariners team that relies heavily on their defensive prowess to get wins. Marco Gonzalez always seems to run into trouble when going head-to-head with the Rangers this season. Clearly, no team has given him more problems when he's been on the mound, considering he's throwing a 5.09 ERA in the 3 games he's played against them. I'm banking on those struggles lingering in Gonzalez's 4th meeting with Texas's batting lineup. They'll get a few early hits, build some confidence, and the runs will start to come in. Meanwhile, Jon Gray will make it tough on the other end for Seattle to match that scoring effort. The Rangers' starting pitcher is scorching hot right now on the mound. He's coming into this game having won 6 of his last 7 starts against a Mariners team that'll finally show some slippage against the Rangers. Seattle has actually been worse offensively at home than they've been on the road, and they'll really struggle without having their defense to lean on in this game. I'm rolling with the Rangers on Wednesday. Our total pick is under 8 runs. The pitching staffs as a whole have been doing well throughout the month of July, as Seattle is second with a 2.79 ERA, while Texas is 24th in the majors with a 4.70 ERA during the month, which is not high at all. These teams have not been stealing bases at an effective level this year, as the Rangers are second in the majors with 24 caught steals as a whole, while the Mariners are tied with 4 other teams for 7th in the sport with 18 caught steals up to this, and those kill rallies. Go with UNDER and NBSP, as Jon Gray and Marco Gonzalez should throw up enough zeros on the scoreboard to make it seem like the better play. Miami Marlins vs Cincinnati Reds. Our team pick is Cincinnati Reds for the win. And here is why. Miami was clobbered in the opening game of this series to fall for the 6th time in their last 8 games. The Marlins entered Tuesday night 4th in the NL East, 14 games behind the Mets for the top spot in the division race. They stood 5.5 games behind the Cardinals for the final wild card spot in the National League. On Monday night, Miami finished with 7 hits, with no player recording more than 1 in the contest. J.J. Bleday had the lone extra base hit for the team, a double, and the Marlins were 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position in the contest. Trevor Rogers, 4-10, turned in another lousy start as he took the loss after giving up 6 runs on 8 hits, with 2 walks and 5 strikeouts, over 3.2 innings of work. Cincinnati won their 2nd straight and 3rd in the last 4 games as they took down the Marlins in one-sided fashion in the opening game of this series. The Reds entered Tuesday in the basement of the NL Central, 15 games behind the Brewers for the top spot. They were a distant 13 games behind the Cardinals for the 2nd wild card spot, and by the time the trade deadline passes next week, we could see a lot of the current team in new uniforms. On Monday, Cincinnati rapped out 16 hits with Jonathan India, 2 runs, 4 RBI, and Donovan Solano, 2 RBI, leading the way with 3 each. Brandon Drury, his 19th, and India, his 6th, a grand slam, each went deep in the win. Nick Lodolo, 3-3, earned the win on the mound as he threw 6 innings, allowing 2 runs, none earned, on 2 walks and 9 strikeouts before departing. Miami is the better team record-wise, but they were clobbered in the opening game of the set. Garrett has pitched pretty well in his last few outings, but the Marlins have had their issues at the plate for chunks of the season. Now, they get to go to a hitter-friendly ballpark in the Great American Ballpark, but they run into a veteran pitcher who is the ace of his team's rotation. Castillo has been locking opposing hitters down, and this could well be his last start with the franchise, as there are teams ramping up talks to acquire him. With Miami struggling at the plate and Castillo's solid resume against them, back the hosts in this contest as the Reds prevail. Our total pick is over the total, and here is why. Miami came into this year with a lot of optimism, driven largely by a young and exciting pitching staff that figured to rank among the best in the NL. That has not come to fruition this year as they have struggled with consistency beyond Sandy Alcantara and Pablo Lopez. The Marlins have conceded an average of 4.32 runs per game, ranking 13th. Braxton Garrett is hoping to secure the back end of the rotation and has done a nice job to this point with a 2-3 record and a 3.42 ERA over 9 starts. He was brilliant his last time out, tossing 6 innings against the Pirates, allowing just 1 run on 2 hits while striking out 7. While neither team has been lighting up the offensive stat sheets throughout the season, there have been a lot of runs in each of their games lately. The Reds have been hitting really well at home of late, averaging a healthy 6.5 per game over their last 6. Miami pitching has not lived up to the hype this year and have been vulnerable at times, conceding 5.7 runs over their last 7 contests. The over is 6-2 in Cincinnati's last 8 and 4-1 in Miami's last 5. While Castillo and Garrett have both been good, expect both offenses to come out swinging. New York Yankees vs New York Mets. Our team pick is the Mets with the money line. And here is why. The first place New York Yankees roll into Queens looking to continue their series lead on the road against the Mets. The Bombers are 4-6 in their last 10 games in Queens, but are 12-8 in their last 20 and 37-30 all-time on the road against the Mets. This series marks the first matchup of the crosstown rivals this season, a season in which both teams have held the lead in their respective divisions for nearly the entire season. The Yankees come into this game struggling a bit with just a 5-5 record heading into Tuesday night's matchup. On Tuesday night, the Yankees jumped out to a quick 2-0 lead, but watched the Mets pound their way back into the game and fell 6-3 in Game 1 of series. Aaron Judge blasted his major league leading 38th home run in the loss. Just a few short weeks ago, the Mets looked like they were losing their stranglehold on the NL East and were in dire need of help. Along came Max Scherzer off of a 7-week stint on the Illinois, and the Mets have regained their stride. In the 17 games since Scherzer has returned, the Mets have gone 10-7 but, more importantly, have been able to protect its taxed bullpen thanks to Scherzer's efforts. The Mets as a team have made 12 quality starts in those 17 games, with Scherzer accounting for 4 of those quality starts. More help may soon be on the way as longtime Mets ace Jacob deGrom continues to rehab his right shoulder in the minor leagues. On Tuesday night, it looked like it might be a long night for Taijuan Walker and the Mets after the Yankees connected for back-to-back home runs in the first inning. In the bottom of the inning, the Mets hit 2 home runs of their own and scored 4 times to take a lead they wouldn't relinquish. Walker would go 6 innings, allowing 7 hits and 3 runs to pick up his 8th win of the season. German looked extremely shaky in his season debut against the Astros and fared particularly bad against 2 of the top hitters in the Astros lineup, Alex Bregman and Yordan Alvarez. German's hard hit rate was a respectable 35%, but his K rate was frighteningly low at 11%. This will not bode well for him against the Mets' better hitters, particularly slugging DH Pete Alonso and SS Francisco Lindor. On the other side of the diamond, the Mets will turn to their ace, Scherzer, in hopes of taming the Yankees' potent defense. As noted above, Scherzer racked up serious strikeout numbers last season against the Yankees last season, and he's currently averaging 11.8 Ks per 9 innings. This is the perfect time to be squaring up against the Bombers with Stanton out and their bullpen slightly banged up. Our total pick is under the total, and here is why. With Scherzer on the mound, I'm also liking the under here. In his last 5 starts, he has given up 6 earned runs over 31 innings, as he usually cruises to 6 or 7 innings, allowing 1 to 3 runs. In this game, I expect it to be much of the same, while the Mets offense has struggled out of the All-Star break, which is also why I like the under here. In the Mets' last 10 games, they are averaging just 3.8 runs per game, while the Yankees are averaging 4.6 runs since the All-Star break, so take the under here.